So you want to know a little bit more about the 5710, but I would like a more specific question if you can. If not, I can speak about it. And if you can tell me what your profile is also, that would be nice. Okay, she's a 4.6. I'm shooting for June 15th that the projector lounge will open. It's happening slowly. It's so hard for me to hear my splenic center. I want to know more about that. Okay, that's a cool question. So yeah, okay, yeah, you're a splenic person. The spleen is the oldest awareness center that we have. So it's very primitive. It's really about life and death. It's about survival. It's about strategies. It's really like the root of all fear. These ancient fears that we've had, and this is really where our first stages of intelligence came from. Oh, we're going to die if we get eaten by this creature. Okay, how do we come up with a strategy to survive? How do we come up with a strategy to hunt? How do we come up with a strategy to keep ourselves warm? Like all that basic primal intelligence comes out of the spleen. So if you're a splenic person like me, I always say we're like wild animals. We're really existential creatures. We can be very cool. We can be very much, well, really, we don't know anything until it's happening. That's very much a splenic thing. So it's not like the spleen talks to you. Like you can't communicate. The mind cannot communicate with the spleen. It doesn't work that way. We never get to know why as splenic people. It just happens instantaneously in the moment or even a little bit into the future. We just do something because it's we're tapped into it and it's speaking to us, but we can never understand why. And we can never figure it out because it already happened. After the fact, we can kind of start to pick it apart and see what happened. Like, you wind up with a broken arm or you wind up hurt and you just go, fuck, I knew that was going to happen. I just knew it. I shouldn't have done it that way. Yeah, well, you knew it because your spleen was trying to tell you something. You didn't listen to it. The mind kind of overrode it, so to speak. So splenic people, like we really have to surrender to the fact that life is like surfing. Life has to be in a flow. We have to be in the moment. The second we go to our head as a splenic person, we're screwed because we're trying to figure it out. And then we get overwhelmed with options. And then we're reading reviews and then we're trying to understand it. And then we're really out of our truth. So to be splenic is really to be surrendered to the moment. And the 5710, it's really in integration, it's kind of the not manifestation because that would be the 5720, but this is okay. Gate 57 is the gate of intuitive clarity. So in the moment clarity, the cool wind that is, yeah, all of a sudden there. And gate 10 is the gate of behavior and the gate of love of yourself. So you're someone who is here to intuitively know how to behave in the moment so that you can survive, so that you can love yourself, so that you can, it's really about survival, the spleen, so that you can be healthy. So a great question for splenic people is this clean? Is this aura? Is this food? Is this whatever situation? Is this clean for me? Is this something my spleen is saying yes? It's wanting to take in. It's feeling a sense of vitality. So splenic people, you have the 28 like me. We can be very much connected to this feeling of life and death. This feeling of there's also splenic people have been known to have like a sarcastic kind of dark sense of humor because we are connected to life and death in such an interesting way, having our spleen defined. So the 5710 is called the channel of perfected form. It's we see designers and architects and people who are very much here to intuitively know how to perfect their form, how to perfect this body, how to perfect their environment. This is also called the channel of beauty. So you're someone who is here to really, wherever you go, you have to make beauty. You have to create beauty around you. This is so connected to the design of plants. So nature is so important to these people, and to really see the beauty in nature, the beauty in life itself. Um, so it's hard being splenic because we can plan things, but we have to flow. We have to be in flow with nature. We have to be in flow with the universe. We have to be in flow with ourselves and our own cycles, and that comes from how present can I be? How slow can I go? How in tune acoustically with my environment can I be? So um, yeah, very existential design, a very uh, difficult one to really lean into. Because think about what that means. We're just going to live spontaneously, existentially in the moment our whole life. Like that to me, I'm like, wow, that would be wild. To even try that for a week to and watch where you end up. I do it as much as I can, uh, but still, to me, it's like watching a wild animal, and to watch the life that they live, that can kind of give us insight into the life we're supposed to live. And you're going through a really intense transit right now. Neptune is in the gate 25, and you have the 51, so it's hooking up um, this channel of initiation that you'll have for the next few years. So you could, in this time, meet some shock that's inviting you to take off more masks, to love yourself even more, to maybe have an identity crisis, and yeah, start to, well, it could be the shocking and empowering energy to really be yourself, to really stand as yourself in this life. The spleen's going to make your mind feel stupid. The spleen has nothing to do with mental intelligence. The spleen will say yes to something, and then literally 10 minutes later, it's a no, and you got to flow. It's literally like surfing, this experience of life. Um, it doesn't, this is the life that doesn't make sense. My life doesn't make sense anymore. Why the things, why I do the things that I do, why the people show up in my life that do, why I go the places I go, it doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't. Um, After it happens and I can see like the trajectory of my life and the empowerment and the success and the recognition, then I start to understand and I'm like, okay, this is really interesting. This is like God's plan for me. Being splenic is like you better be surrendered to the universe's plan for you. And just it requires so much trust. It's not going to make any sense. I'm doing freaking human design. You think that makes any sense to my mind? No, my mind thinks I should have done something else and been in real estate or in as a businessman or being my conditioning. It doesn't make any sense. But you know now I know life doesn't make sense. Nobody knows what the fuck we're doing here. No, we'll never know. Um, and when we can really understand that and surrender to, okay, I'm just going to trust that I'm here for a reason and there's a plan for me, and the plan is literally laid out in my human design chart. And interestingly enough, when I follow that, I start to feel really good and I enjoy being here, and life is a mystery and it's exciting and it's the pleasure and the pain and it's everything. But it's just like you feel like you're living for the first time in my life. I feel like I'm living, and it doesn't make sense, but nothing does. We'll never know what the fuck we're doing here. Yeah. So with a chart like this, you got to surrender to spontaneity. You got to surrender to not making sense to people. You have to surrender to, hey, my whole life is about tuning into my body and letting it decide what's healthy and what's not healthy for me. Because health is so important as for a splenic person. Well, really for all of us, but if you're connected to your spleen and you're in your not self, your health is really going to suffer. Because when we're in our not self, it's actually the defined centers that suffer. So I had a lot of health stuff, as a not self being. And so to listen to the sensitivity that lives in your body, it knows what's right for you. It knows what's healthy for you. And a lot of times that's not going to make sense to other people. It's not going to make sense to you. And that's okay.